Stand by. The program will...
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only PDawgKnight.
Well. Holy balls, Batman. What a pain in the... Hey! Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel, where Streamlab resets are annoying. You got to go back and fix everything, but I think I have everything fixed. I got it all right. I'm all set up. Let's go. Holy shit. Anyway, let's just say hi and get it going because there's a lot to talk about. And yes, CNN still sucks. Is that the right one? Yeah, it is. Anyway, yeah, and it's just the whole week. Anyway, hi, how you doing? First the chat today. JB got the bell. Oh wait, don't play that. That one. There we go. You got the bell because you're first. Also, good morning, Ms. Wild Wolf. Avocados Diablos in the house. And Selective Boy is here early, bright and early. Nice to have you here. Also, who else? Blue-Eyed Scream, Lord Stanhope, and Unholy Queen. Yes, our young friend Midnight. And eventually, Kara Soldier's here too. Okay, YouTube hates me as I kept refreshing, and yet the stream never showed up. Well, that's because I didn't start the damn thing yet. I just started it. So, hi. Hope you're having a wonderful morning. I'm not. But it's hey, things can only get better, in the words of the amazing Mr. Howard Jones. So if you're here, say hi. If you're not here, well, where the hell are you? I don't know. Anyway, so I guess the big news, Abby Phillips finally did an on-air apology. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about what's going on in the world. We got holidays. We got funny stuff. We got, I don't know. There's always more. What am I looking for here? Holiday calendar. There. All right. So people haven't had really a chance to share the stream yet. And I don't see it. But some of you have. So let's just say thank you to those who are very more capable than I. And that would include, of course, who? Somnambule Nation, of course, shared the stream already, and I'm sure you're showing up. I didn't share your stream, LOL. Yes, I did. It's just you didn't see it yet because I just did it. I even hit the link. Isn't there a link up there? What's that link up there go to then? I guarantee that link goes up. Did I share the stream or am I just hallucinating? No, I shared the stream. It just took me a minute. Anyway, thank you. Wait, what happened to it? Was that yesterday's? Where's today's? I gotta see that one too. There you go. Somnambule Nation reposting. Got it. Ms. Wild Wolf. See, did it. Got it. Posted. Thank you, Ms. Wild Wolf. Also, okay. Oh, we got a little Benny Hill clip here. We'll see what today's Let's Go is from Somnambule Nation. I'm sure this is be humorous. Let's see. Just from the classic Benny Hill show. If you don't know the Benny Hill show, well, you should look it up. It's humor that no one can get away with anymore, but here we go.
I hate rich people. I mean, half the world's starving to death, and he lives like that. I mean, I ask you. You see, I believe in a fairer distribution of wealth. I always have done. Well, I'm a socialist, you see. And I think, we should all do everything we can to help, because that is the creed. So.
So there you go. That's kind of like that reminds me of some people. What do you call them? Democrats. Anyway, Benny Hill was great. Lord Stanhope, good morning. I already said hi to you. Well, I can say hi twice. Anyway, so thank you, Somnambule Nation. Oh wait, I'm not done here. Anyone else? Yes. Also retweeting my post, and also JB with, that's weird. That's kind of like me, but as a white anime character with the old St. Paul on my sweatshirt. That's nice. I like that. Is this kind of like how all the redheads are being reposted as black people? Now you just reposted me as some white blue-eyed blonde anime character. Okay, I'll take it, whatever. Also, Green Badger Outdoors, thank you for sharing the stream. Also, Miss Wild Wolf throwing the cool kitty up there. Yeah, baby. Love the cool kitty. The sunglasses. I'm ready. I'm ready. And Resolute Germs, Ms. Wild Wolf, Somnable Nation, and JB all reposting my stream. I appreciate it. You found it, Ms. Wild Wolf. You can see what I did. I did post the stream. So there. Anyone else show up? Mike Savage Blarg is here. Good morning. And I'm sure people are wrote. Oh, there's Aaron Meredith. Did I already say that? I see you. I just didn't know if I said it. I can't remember. I heard an interesting study the other day that people with grandparents who interact with their grandchildren, apparently decrease the chances of developing Alzheimer's. I have no idea why. That's really weird. I can't remember what I did 10 seconds ago. I know. That's me. You never heard of Dragon Ball? Look, listen. Yeah, I've heard of Dragon Ball, but I'm not a connoisseur of Dragon Ball. The only reason I know that there is Dragon Ball Z is probably my kids saw it in their early years. And my kids are 30. Okay, or one's 32, will be 32 this year, one will be 30 this year. So look, I'm an old fucker. I don't watch that shit. Although I did, actually I have watched Dragon Ball Z once or twice. It was interesting. I'm not a big anime person, but yeah, that's Dragon Ball Z. Good morning, Green Badger Outdoors. Oh, I didn't give Select a Boy one of these. Yeah, boy. And you were here bright and early, and I didn't even do the yeah, boy. Or did I? I don't know. It was 5 minutes ago. I don't remember shit I did 5 minutes ago. So anyway, see, LOL, I knew it. You knew what? I barely. Isn't it a game or some shit? I don't know. I think Marty is at the age where he doesn't have a Dragon Ball. He's Dragon Balls. Yes, that's probably pretty accurate. Anyway, we don't need to talk about my balls today. Thank you, Resolute Germ, also for throwing me a. If you don't know what that means Kermit the Frog, which is a poor imitation of Kermit the Frog, but there you go. And Mike Savage with a "Let us go" like he does on the daily, being very proper in English, even though Irish are like the brothers of Great Britain, No, Ireland's not part of Great Britain, right? Just Northern Ireland? I can't remember. I get that all mixed up. Those people near that section of Europe, what y'all do there. Americans don't know shit about Europe. That's the problem. So anyway, or at least not Great Britain. The Great Britain versus the king. What is it? I get it all mixed up. Anyway, let's get this show on the road here. Let's do something other than listen to me be confused. All right. Things to celebrate today. Holidays for the day. Why isn't that working? There we go. National Plant a Flower Day. Now, if you live anywhere near me or in this level of latitude, probably not National Plant a Flower Day. It's a little early. You still got chances of frost and shit. And so maybe not plant a flower. Maybe you're going to plant a flower, plant it in a pot indoors, and then save it for another, probably, I would say 15 days or so. I mean, sometimes you can plant in March, but you're taking a chance, especially if you're planting things that frost would affect. So there's still chances of us getting frost. In fact, we had snow yesterday. So 2 days ago it was 55 degrees. Yesterday it snowed. Today it's going to be in the low 30s, but then tomorrow it'll probably be 70, and then a week from now it'll be 22 and freezing rain. It's just that time of year in the upper Midwest. That's how it works. Hey, Kyle, what's up? What up, Kyle? Welcome back. It's always good to see you back, Kyle, because I missed you for a long time there. Also, good morning, Brent Hayes. What's up? Brent Hayes. Well, that's no Mrs. Hayes is the Mrs. Hayes song. You're just Brent Hayes. Hey. Also, it's Popcorn Lover Day. Yeah. If you like some popcorn, I love me some popcorn. Although I don't like when those little things get stuck in your teeth. You know, the little brown things that come in the popcorn. National Girl Scout Day. National Working Moms Day. Appreciate those working moms out there. Doing it all. They can cut up or what is it? I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, and never, 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 never let you forget you're a man, 'cause I'm a woman. I probably shouldn't sing that song. Somebody's going to clip that and post it somewhere. That's okay. It's funny. Lantern Festival still going on. Independence Day of Mauritius. Is that how you say it? Mauritius? How do you properly pronounce that? National Christian Day. No, that's the name Christian, not like people who are celebrating Christ. I have my clips turned off. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, look, I had no idea. Anyone know how to turn those back on? I got to turn those on. I want you guys to clip my show. I'd be happy for that. International School Meals Day. What? Oh God, that's terrible. Although it's interesting. When my kids were in high school, which, oh my God, they're coming. Oh my God, my son's been out of high school for 11 years. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I was surprised at actually how good the food was at my kids' high school. It was actually pretty decent. Like, I remember school food just being disgusting when I was a kid. I would always bring my own lunch. And so I guess, but some schools do have pizza day. Pizza day was the one day that was okay. But everything else was pretty gross. Sometimes they had, I went to school before chicken nuggets were a huge thing. But they'd have these chicken things, chicken strips kind of things. And I'm like, no, they were pretty bad. Everything was pretty bad. And they had those mushy green beans and they just throw those shit out the door, out in the garbage. About half the food end up the garbage. And now in Minnesota, for some reason, they passed a law where we have to buy school lunch for every kid in every school. School breakfast and lunch is free. Free is a relative term because somebody's paying for it. And I just don't understand it. I mean, people live in many of you probably heard of Edina, Minnesota, which is the hated rich school, basically, old money school, right? And we're buying school lunches for kids in Edina. All of them, not just the poor kids, just all of them. It's just dumb. I don't know who thought that's a great idea. Parents can pay for their own kids' food. Anyway, Alfred Hitchcock Day, the great director. It must be his birthday or something. The master of suspense, Alfred Hitchcock. National Baked Scallops Day. Now, that's interesting too. Why so specific? Couldn't it just be National Scallops Day? You could saute them, pan fry them, but they're saying it's National Baked Scallops Day. Like that's a very extra special way to take care of scallops. National Ruth Day. Fun observance on March 12th, celebrating people named Ruth, honoring the name's Hebrew origins, meaning compassionate friend, and its biblical significance. Are there a lot of men named Ruth? Why did they put a man up there? I don't understand it. It's the Aztec New Year, which I don't understand. I understand like the year that we have with our calendars. I understand the Lunar New Year because it's based on the cycles of the moon. Why is the Aztec New Year today? Celebrating the beginning of the new year according to the 365 day. Oh, it's a solar calendar. Well, how do you calculate? That makes no sense. World Day Against Cyber Censorship. Oh, hey, yeah, we need. I like that. IUGR Awareness Day, which I suppose I have to know what the hell it is first. Anyone know what interuterine growth restriction? What? Oh my God. Did someone just assume, PDawg just assume Ruth's gender? Yes, I did. Hello, Brent Hayes. I said that already. Not because you're not Purple Hayes or Mrs. Hayes. Hello, K-Shaw. That's the new Abby I saw. Hi, Kirsten. World Glaucoma Day. Again, can it be World Glaucoma Awareness Day? National then there's the months. I'm not going into the months. I'd be doing I'd be doing this stupid holiday shit all day if I started going into the month stuff, because it's a month for everything. Dude McDude face. Hey, I like that. Oh my God, you don't even know what I'm gonna say. There, dude McDude face. You're already criticizing me. You don't even know what the fuck I'm gonna say. You might actually like me. Even if I disagree with you, you might like me. Most people do. So I hope you stick around and find out. But welcome to the show, by the way. Nice that you're here. All right. And I said Darren Root. Okay. What's the bottom two? The bottom two, UGR Awareness Day, which is Intrauterine Growth Restriction Day. Look, it's promoting education on its causes, risk, early detection, and support for affected families. So that's, again, awareness. I like those awareness days. I just don't like when they call it World Glaucoma Day, like they're celebrating glaucoma. That's silly. Anyway, by the way, Dude McDude face, are you still here? Just put a 1 in the chat if you're still here, because I'm just curious if you're just one of those hit and run little bitch people, or if you just actually would interact with other people in a respectful way. I'm just curious. So we'll find out if you're a respectful person who disagrees, or if you're just a bitch. And if you don't see you say anything, I'm gonna say that yes, you are just a bitch. So anyway, we'll clear that up real quick. All right. Here, let me see if you replied yet. No, looks like you're just a bitch. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about the most prominent stories, or the featured stories on X. I shouldn't say the most prominent, not the most important stories, but X likes to feature a few particular stories each day for some reason. And so we're going to see what are they featuring today. Now, the first one we talked about over the last couple of days, the fact that one of the New York bomber guys with the little nail bombs, whatever, family happens to own they own $4.2 million in real estate, including a $2.25 million Bucks County mansion in Pennsylvania. Interesting. Ibrahim Kayumi, 19, an accomplice, Emir Balat, 18, allegedly threw a mason jar bombs packed with TATP explosives outside Gracie Mansion. Now, we all know who they were targeting, but for some reason, people at This is CNN tried to imply that it was the other assholes, the Jake what's-his-face friends who threw those bombs. And no, it was the Al-Akbar type guy who threw the bombs. Yeah, allegedly. Even though they're on video. Anyway, apparently, so there's a big story that Kayumi's parents, naturalized Afghan immigrants, own a $2.25 million Bucks County mansions and rental properties worth over $4.2 million in totals. And a Popeyes franchise. Oh my gosh, they even own a Popeyes franchise. So they're like totally Americanized Afghans, and we're proud of them for what they've accomplished. And then their son decides to get on the interwebs and radicalize himself. That's his own words. And then decided they're following ISIS and want to kill people. So, and look, there's just two poor teens who were out sightseeing in New York, and unfortunately their lives were changed forever, according to CNN. And that's why we're making fun of CNN again. All right, but we've already talked about that ad nauseum, so we can pass that up. Did PDawg's what? Wait, where's that? Did I scroll? Did PDawg just? Oh, we got that already. Anyway, dude, what's your face? Where'd you go? I'm disappointed that you just did a hit and run. Like, right, the Democrats in a 24-hour Trump platform, like most of liberal media, love right-wing doublethink. Yeah, you're just a little bitch, obviously. All right, that's unfortunate. Let's see. Dude. Oh, you are still here. It says you're still here. Where you at, dude? Where you at, dude? No snippy comebacks yet? Come on, you can do better than that. Actually, I don't mean to ridicule you, but people who do that shit, just little hit run bullshit, really annoy me. And so I'll just make fun of you for it. Good news, which we've also been talking about the last few days. Australia grants asylum to most of Iran's women's soccer team after the defiant protest. 7 members of Iran's 26-player women's national soccer team received humanitarian visas from Australia after seeking asylum in the Gold Coast during the tournament that started on March 3rd. The group slipped away from the regime's minders with police help following their exit. U.S. President Donald Trump urged Australian officials on social media to grant asylum, warning of deadly risk back home. One player has decided to return to Iran despite safety fears, while others departed via Malaysia. Now, this is interesting, because what happened to them? What happened to the other ones, or what is happening to the other ones? Because there's more than just 7 on the team, and only one says they're going back so far. And look, the leadership in Iran has already said that they are traitors, and they are likely, if they go home, are likely to be executed. Also have threatened their families with retaliation. So this is interesting. But what I wanted to show you is one of the members of the team has spoken out. And
they took everything from me. They took,
I hate that
like,
happens. Hang on a second. Let me make it so I can pause it. For some reason, that does that every day on X. For some reason, where if you're on the that part too long, you can't pause the videos, and I want to be able to pause them. So hang on a second here. Let's see if this works.
They took.
Okay, there we go. All right, let's watch this video. Apparently, I don't know if she's doing this report from Australia or not. And by the way, all the media sucks, so I don't care. But here's the report. Here's the interview.
They took everything from me. They took.
Oh, she's a former soccer player for Iran, so she maybe already lives in the United States. But anyway,
like, I lost my family, I lost my home, I lost my safety. One day, my brother called me. When my mom was in Italy, my brother called me and said, Dad passed away. And that day was the worst day in my life because I felt guilty. My mom is here. I couldn't get a visa for my dad. And I was just in a situation. I was, Mom, hey, you have to get back. And his dad's funeral, and my siblings need you, and please get back. I can figure it out. And my mom was like, what should I do in this situation? No, you are alone here. And I was like, no, I can figure it out. I'm strong, Mom, you just go. And I felt guilty because my mom wasn't in that moment, in the last time of my dad's life with him. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to get back to Iran, honestly, with my mom, but my mom didn't allow me. And she said, no, you cannot even see your dad. You cannot even see, because they're going to arrest you.
All right, so that was someone, I don't know where the interview it was from, but very interesting. They took everything from me. I lost my home, I lost my family, I lost my safety. So apparently her mother is here they're in safety though. This is, I'm seeing a lot of posts like this too. So all these people protesting the attack on Iran, which again, I initially my first thought was like, why? We don't need to do this, but the more I see Iranian people talk about it, the more I go, well, maybe this was necessary. But Iranian women celebrated their freedom. American women protesting it. Just the irony of this. So, very ironic that's what we're seeing right now. Good morning, Reaction Puerto Rico. You lovely island of tropical breezes. Oh my gosh. Mock. We receive. Oh, mock trade. Oh, we did trade. We'll take one Iranian woman and trade 100 liberal women. Anyway, I heard something about Iran attacking the West Coast. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. That's another one of the stories. Another feature story on X. And then on the evil Fox News, Greg Gutfeld praises X for exposing media lies instantly. On Late Show, Gutfeld mocks CNN's coverage of a recent terror attack, joking it resembles Ferris Ibrahim's day off. Oh my goodness. Let's just watch Gutfeld's 35 seconds that people keep posting here. This is probably pretty good. Here we go. Again, remember how CNN described it. Two teens crossed from Pennsylvania into New York, could have been enjoying a nice, unusually warm day, and instead their lives took a dramatic change because they threw some bombs at people. Gutfeld. Okay, Gutfeld. My apologies. I'll try to pronounce it right. I don't know. I don't watch Gutfeld. Field. It's Gutfeld. All right, here it is.
The old media ecosystem is collapsing like a presidential palace in Tehran. When CNN was the gatekeeper, no one could challenge the narrative. They wrote the story, Anderson put on his apron and served it to the public. But now we're quickly blowing holes in it like Bud Light cans stacked in Kid Rock's backyard. And you can thank Musk for buying Twitter. Remember the old line, a lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its boots? Now the lie barely gets out of bed before we put a boot up its ass.
Okay, and community notes have been, certainly are, at least with this Abby Phillips thing, now that you see some bullshit on TV, and it's both from the right and the left. You see bullshit from anybody, someone's got a community note for it, and sometimes you get corrections, sometimes you don't, even if it's a half-ass correction, like they did on CNN. Good morning, Man Squatch, by the way. So, let's just go back to keep going with the, these are still feature stories on X right now. Fetterman defends U.S. strike in CNN clash with Democrats. Fetterman sparred with host Caitlin Collins, she with no lips, on February the 28th U.S. Tomahawk missile strike in Minab, Iran, that killed 165 to 175 people, mostly girls at a Shahara Tabia elementary school due to outdated targeting data. He refused to sign a letter from 46 fellow Senate Democrats urging a swift investigation, calling it moot since the Pentagon is already reviewing the incident and insisting the U.S. never targeted civilians, unlike Iran, which he accused of killing over 35,000 in a recent protest crackdown. The exchange exposed growing rift between the Democratic caucus, aka CNN, and the Trump administration strikes. And again, there's still, whether they investigate this or not, there are two things that we know about, or at least one thing for sure we know about it, is that this school, located 500 meters from a missile site, also was part of the military compound before they changed it. And there are conflicting reports that perhaps an Iranian missile errantly went off course and dropped to the ground and struck the school. Whether it did or not, which is an awful thing that happened, it's not the same as the Iranians who've murdered more than between 30 and 100,000 of their own people for protesting. We got people protesting in the United States for people who get killed protesting in Iran, or against them. And some, if you really think about it, they're protesting against the people protesting in Iran who are getting killed by the regime. They're cheering on a regime that kills people who are doing exactly what they're doing in high numbers. Because they say, well, you killed a protester in Minneapolis. You killed that, the girl who tried to put her car in drive errantly. Or the other guy tried to interfere with an arrest. And look, I'm not saying that either were justified is a strange word in that case. Were they legal? Was there a reason why they did it? Sure, investigate that. I'm happy for them to investigate that. But we're not mowing down them in the tens of thousands because they're protesting. In Iran, they mow you down, they kill you for protesting the government in tens of thousands. Anyways, let's see the clip that everyone's talking about. Senator Fetterman and Caitlin Collins.
And I would remind everybody listening right now, the United States never, ever targets civilians. Iran does, and including their own citizens, and they massacred that 35.
When she's stone-faced, she, it's like she will nod her head if she agrees with something. Then she just got that scowl when she doesn't agree with what they're saying. Let's see how she replies to this.
And including their own citizens, and they massacred that 35,000 of them just a couple of weeks ago. And the left, please, the left media is much more angry, about or talking about this hospital, and it is a tragedy. But they didn't seem to be as concerned about the Iranians massacring tens of thousands of their young people just a couple of weeks ago too. So we agree on many parts of it, but we both disagree. I mean, we all disagree that I think it's a good thing, and every single other Democrat in the caucus caused it all kinds of in negative terms.
We did cover the protest in Iran extensively here at CNN. Obviously, they said a lot about how.
Did you though? Did you have a bunch of people on there mad about it? Was there anyone protesting in the streets for the people of Iran who are being murdered in the thousands and tens of thousands? Where were the protesters? Remember all those people are protesting over the Palestinian, Gaza thing? Did any of those people go in the streets protesting Iran for killing their own people? I don't think so. Yeah, they only did what they had to. And did I see the links for the strike on themselves? I've seen the video, the one video, but I can't confirm it. I don't know. There's a lot of bullshit out there too. So that video where the trail of smoke comes from the ground, goes up and goes down. I can't confirm that's real, and nobody has confirmed that real. I've seen it several times though. So, and I'm trying very hard to make sure that what I put out on the internet is either real or that I can have the disclaimer that I don't know if it's real. So anyway, where does he go from here?
Internally, people felt about the regime. But just to be clear,
the
protest in Iran extensively here at CNN. Obviously, they said a lot about how internally people felt about the regime. But just to be clear, you do believe.
Did you catch that? He goes, well, I don't watch, so I don't know. Because if you did do that, Caitlin, probably not too many people saw it. Just FYI.
Media, and I didn't refine you as.
I understand. I just wanted to make that clear to our viewers that we did cover that. But just to be clear, you do believe if the United States was responsible, that the Pentagon should acknowledge that they accidentally hit a girls' school?
Yeah, I've said that. I said it seems that they've already acknowledging all those things. I think largely that letter, it was rendered moot at this point after that's already come out. Now the Pentagon has agreed that they were behind that. And I don't know what your network talked about, but what I'm saying that whether like it's the New York Times, they're making it more and more trying to convince America that this has been a disaster or things are out of control, and that's just categorically not true on that.
I just think it deserves coverage, obviously, given the number of children who were killed as a result of it, obviously.
You think it serves coverage because the number of children that were killed. How many children were killed by the Iranian regime in January? How many of those 32 to 35,000 just in January? How many of those were children? You're talking about a country that tortures children and people. You're talking about a regime that makes it legal for people to marry 6-year-olds and consummate their marriage at 9-year-olds. How much do you cover that on CNN? On This Is CNN. You if it's negative to the U.S. or the West, you'll put it on without evidence. You love to say, well, he said that without evidence.
Matters what happened there. We'll see what the Pentagon investigation says. Senator John Fetterman, I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you for joining us as always here.
No, you don't appreciate his time. You were clenching your teeth while every word he said.
Yeah, oh, no, you don't have to cut me off here.
Go ahead, Senator. We're not cutting you off.
Look at her face, though. She's just fuming at him. It's crazy. Good morning, Dom O'Leary. Good morning, Liberty Vet. What's up?
Well, you said something that it's like it's appropriate to cover it. It is appropriate to cover it. You know, it's a tragedy. Absolutely. You know, and if we were on that,
but you're making it your number one priority to show that we killed a bunch of schoolgirls. Our bombs are killing schoolgirls. We don't even confirmed it's ours, but the investigation is going on.
Appropriate for it to apologize.
Ms. Wildwolf, send me that link if you have it.
That I don't think it's wrong to cover it. That's just not true. Yes, it's being covered. I just want to clarify that.
Ad nauseum. It's the number one talking point from Democrats right now. That you listen to debates of Congress. Well, we shouldn't be using our bomb to kill schoolgirls. Oh, is that what we were aiming for? Schoolgirls?
Like a short shut off there to imply that I didn't want to carry that, or I think it's entirely appropriate to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm not implying that. I just wanted to clarify why we're covering it for everyone who's watching. Senator, thank you. I do always appreciate hearing your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you.
He's like, yeah, whatever, bitch. Anyway, so that's trending. That's another thing. They have our featured story on X right now. And then also, remember Walter Masterson. Oh, they're calling him a comedian now. The guy who was protesting in New York, protesting the protest, and then the guy saying that we welcome all of you here gets the bomb thrown over his head. Well, there's an update on Walter Masterson. Actually, it's a reminder of Walter Masterson. Comedian Walter Masterson dodges bomb after old J6 disguise video resurfaces. So this video shows Masterson and a colleague layering on a red MAGA shirt, Trump hat, and flag scarf to blend in as right-wing reporters at the D.C. protest on January 6, 2021. You mean he was at January 6th too? Wow. I wonder what he was doing there. Fact checks confirm he only interviewed supporters outside the Capitol, faced no charges, and avoided violence. Last weekend's chaos outside New York City, Zohran Mamdani's home saw 18-year-old Amir Balat and throw a jar IED packed with TATP explosive towards protesters. Federal charges following for the ISIS-inspired terrorism. So here's the clip that people are reminding us of who Walter Masterson is. Did you know the left is screeching for open borders that got used as a springboard by radical Islamists in New York City was a troublemaker on J6, dressed up as a Trump supporter. Weird how he wasn't ruined by the Biden administration for being a J6er. Again, he never went in the Capitol as a certain suspected FBI plant wanted people to. But here's what he was doing on January 6th, 2021.
Getting his disguise on.
Okay, so
hang on, I don't know why there's music on that. I don't want the music version, so let's find one without music.
This is a Trump supporter?
Oh, it's another one. Hang on a second. Are these all have music?
Just for a little extra protection.
Well, apparently they all have music, so we'll just play it. We'll take a chance. Take a chance.
Getting his disguise on.
Okay, so I'm gonna wear a mask underneath the mask.
So this is him getting ready to go interview people on January 6th, 2021.
Maybe a super spreader kind of
I
thing.
think you should wear this.
Oh God.
Here, this is your mask.
Oh my God, the America mask. I might take this America beanie too, because this Trump 2020 hat, hard to stomach. I might wear it backwards so I don't have to be too heavy.
Oh, hard to stomach. Oh, I'm glad you didn't hurl.
I'm not fucking with you. You gotta blend in. I'm absolutely not kidding. You need to have an identifier. They won't trust you unless there's a visual, like there's something visual.
Wow. You know, it's fascinating. Pot kettle kind of moment there, where if you go to interview anyone at a left-wing protest and you even ask the hint of a wrong question, they'll try to surround you and push you out. Whereas I'm guessing a lot of the J6 people wouldn't give a shit if you came up and interviewed them and were a lefty, because they'll talk to just about anybody because they're not afraid to be talked to. They might say something stupid or get something wrong, but they're not afraid of you, Walter, you moron.
What do we think, folks? Do we trust this is a Trump supporter? There is an imposter among us.
I mean, you could also wear this.
Yeah, the America hat might be my move, but we'll see.
My God, it's funny how he's suggesting that. My God, you have to wear pro-American stuff to be around Trump supporters. That's amazing, because you can't do without. Anyway, you get the point. They were going to troll Trump supporters on J6, disguised as J6 people. So, what was this one, though? There was another one in clip here. Oh, here. Walter Masterson says he wasn't practicing safety when two Muslims hurled an IED over his head. Oh yeah, did I play this yesterday or not? I may not have. Here's him. Now after he discovers, now that he knows it was a bomb, he's having a little bit of a mea culpa.
Now I really want to be clear that I made a huge mistake in not taking cover after this explosive device was thrown. If you're at a public event and
you just stood there shitting your pants, Walter.
Someone throws what looks like an explosive device, you're not a wimp for taking cover.
Which he accused the J6, or that J6, Jake and his, whatever. Who's the Jake Lang? Yeah, I did play this yesterday. Okay. So we saw it. You can look at yesterday's show and see it again. All right. So, and then one more feature story. This is, then just some of the trending topics. California is trending because, as someone mentioned in the chat, that apparently there's a warning that Iran wants to retaliate for U.S. attacks by launching drones against the West Coast, according to an alert reviewed by ABC News. I'm really curious why the West Coast. The FBI warns Iran inspired to attack California with drones in retaliation for war. The FBI warned police departments in California in recent days that Iran could retaliate on American attacks by launching drones at the West Coast, according to an alert received by ABC News. We recently acquired information that as of early February 2026, Iran allegedly aspired to conduct a surprise attack using unmanned aerial vehicles from an unidentified vessel off the coast of the United States homeland, specifically against unspecified targets in California, in the event that the U.S. conducted strikes against Iran, according to the alert distributed at the end of February. We have no additional information on the timing, method, target, or perpetrators of this alleged attack. The warning came just as the Trump administration launched its ongoing assault against the Islamic Republic. Iran has been retaliating with drone strikes against targets throughout the Middle East. The information about Iran's aspiration for a surprise drone attack on the West Coast came before the U.S. and Israel launched strikes against Iran, and a senior law enforcement official said it's believed the 12-day bombardment has severely degraded Iran's capabilities to do shit. Nothing at all. Hello, old guy gamer. Welcome. Spokesman for the FBI in LA declined to comment. So they aspired to do it. They said there might be an unknown ship in the Pacific Ocean that could do that. I would guess if there were actually any kind of Iranian vessels in the Pacific Ocean to do that, I'm pretty sure our Pacific Fleet would know about it and probably would be able to, let's just say, divert that issue to the bottom of the ocean. But it's interesting that they bring up this report. It's funny because as I sometimes as I scroll through Reels or TikTok, there are actually people in the U.S. who think we're losing like this war badly. There are people who think that all of our bases in the Middle East have been destroyed, that there's hundreds of thousands of U.S. casualties. And I just don't know I don't know where the fuck they get this information from. I mean, look, and they're saying, oh, you can't trust American media, right? Which apparently the trust for American media is all-time low from everybody, right? But the fascinating part about it is, if that were the case, okay, there are certainly media outlets who would be just chomping at the bit, drooling to be able to report that. You know, look, especially the main nets, ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, MS Now, the formerly MSNBC, formerly colloquially known as MSDNC, would be just ecstatic to report American losses, right? But where are they? Now, some of the people, as you read into the comments of some of these videos, well, the only good place to get news for this is Al Jazeera. Because, yes, Al Jazeera will post Iranian propaganda just straight out of the box. But the idea that we've, all our bases are destroyed, we're getting crushed in the Middle East, and Iran's got something for your ass, just doesn't seem to be materializing. So I'm curious. 500 troops. The last I heard was 136 was the last number I heard, and they maybe perhaps 500 troops. They believe 500 troops have been killed in Iran. Liberty Vet says. CNN aired 4 minutes of uninterrupted Iranian broadcast propaganda. Yeah, no, they do. So I'm just let's see, on Facebook, I saw a post saying that Walter Reed Medical Center is reporting hundreds of injuries during the war, but they aren't saying what kind or how they were achieved. And how would they be in Walter Reed already if it happened in Iran? If it happened in Iran, you'd probably see them in hospitals in Germany, where we have a U.S. base and hospital there, or possibly I think there's also they'd be on hospital ships maybe. They wouldn't be at Walter Reed yet. That's just anyway. Good video sent to your inbox. Clicked on the 1220, but which suggests the 9-minute one. Okay, we'll get to that one a little bit later too. Thank you, Miss Wildwolf. Appreciate it. So anyway, FBI warns Iran plotting drone strike in California, but this is from February before the attack. Federal Bureau of Investigation issued a threat in early March to California law enforcement detailing intelligence pointing to the potential of Iran drone strikes launched against the west coast of the United States. Actually, these were in February. So this site actually has erroneous information. But this is, again, prior to the attack launched on Iran. Iran was basically what Iran was saying when they put out their own little press release that everyone went with is that if they strike us, we will strike the West Coast. But the idea that they have capabilities of that, because certainly their drones couldn't fly from Iran to our West Coast. They don't have the range. So they would have to be launched from ships in the Pacific Ocean to reach the West Coast, which I'm pretty sure, again, U.S. intelligence and Pacific Fleet, whatnot, would be able to monitor that shit. So it's interesting. It's an interesting read, but no activity as of yet. Let's put it that way. I'm not that invested in the West Coast. I say let them. No. We do not want our American brothers and sisters, regardless how weird they are, to cause that or to have that happen to them. All right, other things trending. Thomas Massie's trending. Apparently, Donald Trump did a rally in Kentucky, and thousands of people showed up to basically campaign against Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie just got booed by his own constituents. Massie voted with the Democrats to increase taxes. He voted against our historic funding on border security. He voted against eligibility verification for welfare recipients. The people in this room don't want that. Now, again, I don't like it when Trump does it. I don't like it when any politician does it. When they say, oh, he voted against this specific thing that you like that was in a bill that had hundreds of different things in it. And he's voting against omnibus bills, which has been his thing. Okay. But it becomes an easy talking point because now you can say, oh, well, he voted against school lunches for children because he voted against this, the giant budget bill. Okay. And that's not what Trump's saying. But here's Trump talking about Massie in Kentucky, and apparently Massie gets booed during this address.
Voted against. You know what the name is? He is the worst person. His name is, what the hell? How did he ever end up in Kentucky? His name is Thomas Massie.
Now, let me just remind you, Thomas Massie is very, very, very popular in his district. And so I don't know if this is going to have any effect, but boy, he's going out, basically going, what's that term? Anyway, he's going all out against Thomas Massie.
How did he ever end up here, Paul? Anyway, no, Massie voted against tax cuts for seniors. He voted against tax cuts for overtime workers.
And again, this was an omnibus bill. So you can say whatever was in that bill that you like, you can say he voted against it. Okay? Because he voted, or even if he voted against, an amendment in the bill, or even if he it's scorched earth. That's what I was trying to think of. My brain ain't working today, obviously. Don't you do it. I know what you're about to say. I know what you're going to say. Don't you dare. Anyway.
And he voted against tax cuts for earners, tip earners. No, he wanted to increase the taxes. He voted with the Democrats. He voted against our historic funding for border security. He voted against...
The spray tan missed a spot. It kind of did. Missed right by his eye. I don't know. Anyway, you get the point. He's going to list off all these things that were in a bill that Thomas Massie very well could have voted for, or he could have voted against one vote on it and vote on the next vote. You can still say he voted against it because he voted on the one vote. So I don't I'm not a fan when politicians do that, regardless of who the politician is. Lots of politicians use this tactic, and it's kind of bullshit. But look, Massie has very strong principles, and he sticks to them, regardless if it's popular or not. Regardless if you like what he votes for or doesn't vote for, I respect him for always holding to his principles. And he votes against the poison pills, definitely. So I feel bad. I kind of feel bad that Trump is. It annoys me a little bit that Trump's pushing so hard against Thomas Massie. So he's probably one of the more principled people in Congress. So anyway, but he got booed at Trump's rally, which is a Trump rally. So they're all going to be 100% supportive of Trump, and they will likely boo other people. Strait of Hormuz is trending. Apparently, Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, says in his first statement that the Strait of Hormuz is closed, will remain closed to pressure President Trump. Khamenei also demands that all U.S. bases be shut down or they will face attack. He wants to stand up to Trump. How long will that last? Well, we'll see how long his cardboard cutout lives, because we don't know exactly where he is. But I'm just curious. Is the Strait of Hormuz closed? Pools are closed 2 days. Oh, my God. Anyway, someone says, those mine layers Iran was threatening to use in the Strait of Hormuz? Well, the U.S. obliterated 16 of them on Tuesday, along with other Iranian vessels. So they're blowing up all those vessels that go out and put those mines out in the Strait of Hormuz. Well, here's what happens to them. There's one. Now, I'm not sure if these are actual shots or not. I guess they are. Those are the ones that go out there and send the mines. And apparently we've been blowing up their mine centers. I don't know what you call them. Whatever those ships that deploy the mines, they're blowing them all up. So, also, by the way, the UN Security Council has agreed to Resolution 2817 condemning Iran's reckless attacks against the Gulf states and Jordan. Iran must cease all attacks and threats against regional and international security, including ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz. So the UN is flexing their muscle. I laugh ironically. Interesting enough, though, Newt Gingrich was on Fox Business, and he's saying that if they can't keep it open, this war is over.
Look, there are three huge challenges that this administration has tackled. The first is that, and they should have frankly moved on this on day one, they have to keep the Strait of Hormuz open.
Yes.
I don't care what it costs. If they can't keep it open, this war will in fact be an American defeat before very long, because the entire world, including the American people, will react to the price of oil if the strait stays closed very long. So,
to which they are making some progress, obviously, in taking out those mine-deploying ships.
I lived through this with Reagan, as you did, in the late 80s. Keeping the strait open is the number one job because it buys you time for the two other jobs. The second job is we're going to discover that the Revolutionary Guard is tougher than we thought it was, better connected, and have at least 200,000 people who are true believers, and they have no future. I mean,
because they have no problem becoming martyrs. Mine layers, ships that deploy mines, yes, mine layers. That these are floating mines, the Strait of Hormuz. So
right.
Trump can say unconditional surrender.
Right.
These folks know if they lose power, they have no future. And the third challenge is, how do you arouse and organize the street, the 85 million or so people in Iran who do not want the current regime, but they're unarmed, they're unorganized, and that has to be solved. These three problems are going to decide whether this was a stroke of genius or, frankly, a step into quicksand. And I think that the president has to focus very hard on solving these three issues.
Okay, so that's, and clearly going after the mine layers is part of that strategy. Oh, here's an interesting one, too. This lady always is interesting. Let's just play it, because I don't know what she's saying here. Oh, no, this is 12 minutes long. Oh, hell. By the way, you know how the president has kind of hinted that Great Britain just is not a factor in this anymore, and thus kind of saying our relationship is teetering. And part of that is because a lot of these ships that are going through the Strait of Hormuz are being insured by companies in London, for like Lloyd's of London and others, because that's where the big insurance market for shipping is. Which brings on another fascinating aspect of this. Are some U.S. companies going to be taking up some of the slack for the companies in Great Britain on insuring some of these international water ships? So the short story here is just this, and I'm not going to play the video, but I'll put the video as a separate one. Lloyd's of London blinked when the Khomeini money trail led straight to London. Lloyd's of London suspended shipping insurance for oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. The plan was simple: bring shipping to a halt, spike oil prices, and create a political crisis for Donald Trump. Trump moved on three fronts simultaneously. The U.S. Development Finance Corporation stepped up with political risk insurance within days. The Navy went on notice to protect straight shipping, and then the move nobody saw coming. Trump lifted some sanctions on Russian oil and called Putin directly to discuss Iran. Lloyd's reversed course. They never recovered. Now, here's a story that's getting almost no coverage. Bloomberg ran a 2,700-word investigation back in January how Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khomeini, built a global property empire. He owns a ton of property in London, in fact. The front companies managing Khamenei's family's wealth aren't registered in Tehran. They're registered in the Isle of Man and St. Kitts, nodes of the City of London's offshore banking network, the same City of London that tried to strangle world oil supply against an American president at war. The mullahs raged against the Western public. The family money went to London in private, and that's not a revolution. That's a management arrangement. Also, they have a lot of money in Canada, by the way. Meanwhile, look at who's furious about Trump's strategy. John Bolton, the walrus himself, whose national security process produced 20 years in Afghanistan and Iraq without ever resolving Iran, because resolving it was never the point. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney standing outside the fence awaiting to see how it ends. Think tanks in London and Washington with heads exploding. And look who Trump has in the room instead. Pete Hegseth, a man who carried brothers lost to Iranian terrorist proxies home from Baghdad and Kabul. That's the difference between the men who managed the imperial order and the men who paid for it. So this lady always has good reports. I'll just put a separate clip. We're not going to play it, but she always has her videos are always so interesting. So moving on. There's a few clips here that are fascinating. First, we'll start with Paul Begala, who who said some bullshit on, again, this is CNN. Here's Paul Begala talking bullshit.
He has spent $15 million in 1 month for ribeye steaks, $6.9 million for lobster tail, $225 million for furniture. He spent more in the month of September than most countries on earth spend in their defense.
Paul, do you believe
all for himself? Lobster tails?
Do you believe?
Oh! Did you catch that part there? Did you catch that part? All for himself. Listen again. He spent what?
$5 million for furniture. He spent more in the month of September than most countries on earth spend in their defense.
Paul, do you believe
all for himself? Lobster tails?
Do you believe?
While our troops are eating MREs?
No.
Did you catch that? Oh, he spent it all on himself? Really? Now, let's keep listening. Hi, Kessler. What's up?
Lobster tails?
Do you believe the Secretary of Defense is personally eating all the lobster?
Well, he
It's
can't
for
eat
the
16.
Troops.
Oh, really? The troops are getting
And
lobster.
frequently.
Yes. The troops do occasionally get very nice meals. Yes, they do. Watch.
Brothers Defect has steak and lobster. How's it steak and lobster? All right.
Here, let me do one of those Kermit the Frog things.
We're going to war.
My God.
Troops who are going
But that's
to war.
none of my business.
You know that.
They're getting lobster. You are so
You're
full
going to
of
get
it.
killed over this.
You are
You're going to get killed
full of
over
it.
this. Internet, do something.
I might have to double it. I had to run it back.
He has spent $15 million.
So, yes, they have done that for troops. It's not, in fact, let's see, I think the next thing I have here is about that. So, let's see how this goes. TMZ, followed by several other news sites, published a story with this in all caps. Quote, Pete Hegseth blew billions of dollars on fruit baskets and lobster, accompanied by a photo with him surrounded by a bunch of plastic lobsters. There's the picture right there, this silly little picture right here. Okay, that's the picture they put with it. Okay. Now, if you've never covered the military or served, or if you don't have any family or friends in the military, this would seem like a shocking story. But it's not even the truth. It's not shocking, not even remotely. It is a common practice for our country to provide these special meals to our servicemen and women at least once a week. Has been for decades. I did my due diligence to prove my point for anyone who doubts my accuracy. In 2009, when Robert Gates was the Secretary of Defense during the Obama administration, I present you with a story from a reporter who was embedded with the soldiers in Afghanistan. Quote, The lobsters and crab legs are shipped from the United States and driven down on a refrigerated truck from Bagram. On seafood night, the crew serves up to 400 of the tasty tails, 130 pounds of Alaskan king crab legs, and 135 pounds each of shrimp and scallops. Now, there's a link to the story. It's in this post, so you can click that yourself. And here's a story from 2024 when Lloyd Austin was the Secretary of Defense and Joe Biden,
your lying dog-faced pony soldier,
was the President of the United States. Quote, the military spent $103.7 million on meat, fish, and poultry, including $16.6 million on ribeye steaks and 147 orders of lobster tail for $6.1 million. Orders of blueberries, ice cream, and donuts also exceeded $100,000. I am once again disappointed with the lack of balance and context in my profession, deeply embarrassed and disappointed in members of Congress who are tweeting this out. Why? Well, because how is it they did not know this? You may or may not like who is the current president of the United States, but your obsession should not make something that is both a norm but also a show of gratefulness to our soldiers as an outrage to satisfy your happiness. And I would add, bitches. So anyway, it's been done before. And finally, I'm going to close up with this because I didn't realize how late I was. Well, I've got a couple more things, but we'll get there. I have a palate cleanser. Due to massive backlash, Abby Phillips issues an on-air correction for falsely saying Mamdani was the target of the New York City bomb attack. Here's Abby Phillips' mea culpa on This is CNN.
This morning, I issued a correction first thing in the morning on X.
Yeah, on X, but not on CNN.
For a mistake that I made in last night's.
A mistake? Really? How come everyone on CNN was kind of towing the same line, Abby? How was it a mistake? In fact, you didn't even correct someone else who said it on your show after you made the correction that morning. But I'll let you finish.
Show, but I also wanted to do so on air as well. I incorrectly
wanted to or was forced to, because you sounded like a fucking idiot.
Said that the bombs that were thrown by ISIS-inspired suspects in New York over the weekend were directed at Mayor Mamdani. They were not. I failed to catch and correct that mistake in real time.
You failed to catch it? Yeah.
And I take full responsibility for that.
Oh,
and while
great,
we do make
because
mistakes,
it came out of your
it
mouth.
is important to acknowledge and correct those errors when they happen. This morning.
Okay. Great. Well done. Okay. By the way, that's where I got the thumbnail from. The problem is, though, on your show, not even 24 hours after CNN, Abby Phillips was forced to issue a retraction for lying and claiming Mamdani was the target of the Islamist attack on New York City. Ana Navarro repeated the same bullshit. Here's Ana Navarro saying the same shit. We saw this yesterday.
So supposedly some of these comments are as a result of the attempt against Mayor Mamdani in New York, who was raised
Mayor
Muslim,
Mamdani.
was he not? Himself.
Yeah.
So they're being
That's who it was
anti-Muslim and they're finally defending Mamdani over something.
To be clear, the attack wasn't on Mayor Mamdani. It was on people protesting. It was attacking protesters, people protesting Mamdani.
Right by his house.
So what if it was by his house? So what if it was by his house? I yelled at her yesterday. Fuck that bitch. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say? I meant FTG Ana Navarro. Thank you, Lord Stanhope, for being Johnny on the spot. Let's see. Here's another clip. The reason why you hate the news. Oh, by the way, a few months ago, Dr. Oz posted a video about the hospice fraud in Van Nuys, California. Remember that we just talked about yesterday? Dr. Oz was talking about this a few months ago, and Gavin Newsom filed a civil rights complaint against Dr. Oz for, quote, baseless and racist accusations. Well, CBS now knows that there's 137 hospice businesses along Van Nuys Boulevard, and over half appear to be fraudulent. So here's the report from back then.
Governor Gavin Newsom's office is filing a civil rights complaint against Dr. Oz, who is currently serving as administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. The governor is seeking an investigation into Oz's, quote, baseless and racist allegations against Armenian Americans.
Baseless and racist.
That's racist!
Against Armenians.
In California. His complaint is in response to this video that Dr. Oz posted on his social media this week. In the video, the former TV host claimed without proof that
without proof.
The businesses controlled by Armenians in Van Nuys are fronts for healthcare fraud schemes. The governor reacted to the comments during a discussion in San Francisco.
And so now, yesterday we saw CBS News now doing a report on these fraudulent Medicare fraud scheme businesses on Van Nuys Boulevard. Interesting. All right, let's see what else. Here's another video. I just have a bunch of videos to show you. This one is so this. Hang on a second. So Mayor Mamdani, speaking of Mayor Mamdani, one of his closest aides, and I don't mean not the other kind of aides, the folks suggesting the current palpable and obvious rise in disrespect of our city's bravest has nothing to do with Mamdani. Here's his wonderful intern while he was the state assemblyman. This is one of Mamdani's interns while he was in the state legislature of New York.
Officers! Read the badges of the pigs! Read the badges of the pigs! So to the Rahmans and the Mohammeds! To the Rahmans and the Mohammeds! To the Alis and the Abdullahs! To the Alis and the Abdullahs! To the Rafids! To the Rafids! To the Rafids! To the Rafids! To the pigs! To the pigs! Who can call themselves by the name of Islam? Who can call themselves by the name of Islam? To the Mohammeds! To the Mohammeds! Put some respect on that name! 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 Put some respect on that name!
Young lady, if you don't stop spitting on me, I'm gonna. Never mind. So anyway, you're wondering why the respect of police officers. Anyway, there's that video. What else do I got here? Oh, by the way, Palestinian activist Aber Kawas is running for the New York State Senate. This is someone running for the state Senate in New York City. New York City. Get in Rome. She's said 9/11 was America's fault due to capitalism and racism and white supremacy and Islamophobia, the four horsemen of the apocalypse. And she's endorsed by the New York City Democrat Socialists of America and Zohran Mamdani and has worn a Hamas headband. Listen to her. She seems
and so and find that the system of capitalism and racism and white supremacy, etc., have all, and Islamophobia have all been used, to colonize lands, right, to take resources from other people. And so this is a long trajectory. And we're just seeing the manifestations of that continuation, right, with 9/11.
Wait, the manifestation of that continuation. That's a lot of shuns.
And so a lot of times when people are asking us to respond about, attack, right, if you look back, historically, right, a lot of us come from lands that were colonized, lands where wars are being waged, right? A lot of times because of U.S. policy or the policies in Europe. And so I find that we can connect over that, but then also that the idea that we have to apologize for a terror attack that a couple people did, and then there is no apologies or reparations.
Like the couple people did.
For genocides and for slavery, etc., is something that I kind of find
slavery. Wait a minute. Slavery? Did she say slavery? You mean they practice in the Middle East slavery? What are you talking about? What's this one? New York City's being taken over by wannabe jihadists. This is a vigil for Ayatollah Khamenei. The man running this vigil is wearing a Sinwar shirt, architect of October 7th. I tried to interview any of the people, people setting it up, and it ended with some with me getting surrounded and needing a police escort. You'll see this guy running the show here was in the peace program at George Washington University, and the education in this country, the education system in this country is completely and utterly broken. It needs to be revamped completely. This is a 5-minute video, Nate Freeman. I highly recommend you watch it. I'm not going to play it now as I don't have time. It'll be in the links today. Let's see. This is, I actually copied it twice. And this is Nura Salesh, Director of Government Affairs for CARE in Kentucky. And she let the mask slip in this harmless civil rights organization. Or she let the mask slip that this is a harmless civil rights organization. And she, here, let's just see what she yells. This is in Kentucky. Okay, let's see what she yells.
Are a hateful bigot. Huh? Who is this woman? What is she doing? I don't even know. Thank you. Come. This is insane.
I'm not leaving.
This is what Jews in New York City have to deal with in a place of business. It's my office, Nora. Okay?
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
She go with you? No. No, I asked him if he did.
I'm
just hoping that this person has a mental...
I demand jihad. I demand jihad. I want ISIS to kill all of you.
Okay.
All right, somebody call the cops.
I'm conspiring with Hamas, Palestinian jihad, and ISIS.
Okay.
I am conspiring with them.
Okay, this is going to go right to the FBI.
Perfect.
Holy cow.
So anyway, she lives in Kentucky right now. Yay. All right, and then this one says, I know this made the rounds yesterday, but it's worth underlining. A kind of story on CBS this morning about rampant hospice fraud in Deep Blue, California is the exact kind of story that will make Barry Weiss lead the network to success. I'm going to post that right next to the, I'll put it so you can find it easier next to the Dr. Oz video, because this Dr. Oz gets sued by California for baseless attacks about hospice fraud. And then there's a story about hospice fraud in CBS News. All right, time for the palate cleanser. And then I'm going to get out of here. We have a song. We have a song about the new Ayatollah. Now, as you may remember, they introduced the new Ayatollah using a kind of a weird cardboard cutout because he wasn't available to be introduced. So they had a cardboard cutout of him so you could at least see what he looks like. And then they were kissing the cardboard cutout. So here's a song that was written about the new Ayatollah. I think it's let's just say it's heartwarming. Okay. It's heartwarming, not heart-wrenching, but heartwarming. Here's a new song about the Ayatollah. I'm going to just refresh it here so it'll start on its own. And listen to the words very carefully. It's a very special song.
Sometimes we all need a hero.
This is a banger, by the way.
True and holy, recycle only. Right now we all need a leader. You're gonna change the game, just stay out the rain.
Oh.
Cardboard Ayatollah, you are my king, I am your soldier, and I can be anything you want me to be. Cardboard Ayatollah, you could fit right in my folder, and we'll never stop until Iran's not free. 'Cause there's a cardboard Ayatollah deep in me.
Oh, such a beautiful thing. It'll be in the links. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I'm about to drop these links and then get the fuck out of here. That is such a great song. You definitely want to save that one. Okay, so just if you go to the links for anything, make sure you copy that song and play it to your heart's content, because it's heartwarming. It's deep. It gives you great respect for the regime. I know I missed it. Miss Wild Wolf. But tomorrow's Free for All Friday. We'll just take care of that tomorrow. Yes, please. Just have a song in your heart for the new Ayatollah. For as long as he lasts. We don't know how long he's going to last, but we do really want to make sure that we have, well, you know, I don't know what the hell I'm saying. Just try to make sure you honor him in song and in your heart, and please don't take him out in the rain. That shit's funny. And I'm just stalling while I'm trying to do these links. Okay, there we go. There we go. Oh, okay, here are the links for today. I think. What the hell's going on here? I want to share this as a page. Oh, I did. Okay, this is it. All right, here are the links. They'll be in the description too. I gotta go. My name's PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. Cardboard Ayatollah. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.